disclosure, I myself have joined New Jersey Wellness Center. So, get to see firsthand how they are operating. Hi. And people don't forget to sign in. And I'd like to introduce one of our community resident members, Ms. Abigail Tim, who sits on the advisory board of Joe Wellness Center. So we're hoping, especially for our new members, to learn what it's all about and how can we make it a good partner for this community.
Hello, good night, everyone. I'm Abigail Tim, and I would love to take this opportunity to introduce our chairperson and vice chairperson for Major Owens Health and Wellness Community, Mr. Joe Coelho and Mr. Janella. Oh, go ahead.
Oh.
You have the floor.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dominic, and thank you everyone for taking this time to invite the Major Owners executive team here. Just to give you a real clear overview of who some of the players are and what we've been doing over the past. We're coming up on 3 years now of the center being open in November, and so time is moving fast. But with that, we've shared the opportunity with our elected officials and also most of our new members, what has transpired in those 3 years have gone well, and what things need some changing, and what things we just need to sort of continue to review. Again, my name is Joe Coelho. The advisory team has been together for about 7 years. We started when the initial conversations were happening with Major Owens. Bill de Blasio was the mayor and so forth and so on. And so we've continued through that process. We've just reconstituted the board about maybe back in June. We went from 13 members to 21 members now. And of those 21 members, we have 7 committees, and I'll leave you the committee information so that at least you can be able to see who's on what committee and what committees have been formed. So just giving you a little background on myself, I'm born and bred Brooklyn guy, Brooklyn Tech High School, City College.
Well, we have something in common.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. I did 22 years in corporate America in a pharmaceutical company, and then I moved on to construction. I'm one of the community benefit agreement co-writers for the Barclay Center, along with Reverend Daughtry and Bertha Lewis and all that crew. So I came up with that crew as well. I've also was a guest lecturer at Medgar Evers with Major Owens, with Professor Roger Green, with John Flateau, and so I know I'm saying names to you that you know very well. Dr. Simmons, Esmeralda Simmons, all that whole crew, Dr. Divine Price. I come out of that clique, so at least it gives you a good understanding of my background. I also am the individual, and I like to take credit for this because I don't know how long I can say this, but I actually named the honoree. The opportunity was given to the advisory board, and each advisory board member had 2 or 3 names. We landed on the Major Owens Health and Wellness Community Center, so I take a lot of pride in knowing that. We have, I would say, let me just count them now because I've never counted it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different tenants within the building. We have Digital Girl, which is a coding for young people. Started off with girls, but now it's both co-ed now. We have the Carrie DeBay Fitness Center, which is the entire gym space. If you remember, Carrie DeBay was a gentleman that worked for the Governor Cuomo, who had lost his life overnight. We have the Jeffrey Davis Stop the Violence campaign in the building as well. We have archery. We have the Brooklyn Pride LGBTQ committee, which takes up the bottom floor, basement floor. We have rhythmic dancing. We have Glow Ball, which is the soccer establishment. New Heights Basketball, full fitness center. So I know you're taking advantage of that. Imagine Swim is there, along with Ifatayo African Dance. Brooklyn Plaza Medical Center will be pulling in within the next 6 months. To the side of the building, there will be the ambulatory care component to the Major Owens building, and then we have the WIATCA, the West Indian Day Carnival folks, who actually were, I think, Nostrand or Brooklyn Avenue.
They're on watchers by money.
Well, just, okay, yeah. So they're in the building as well, and so the building has many tenants in it, and the last 3 years has been, lots of things that have happened that has given us pause. We've had to obviously upgrade security in the building based on several things that have happened over the past year or two. But I think we're at a point now where we feel very secure and the community is secure in the building. Boys Club has been the operator for that building for the past 2.5 years. Boys Club has been doing a great job in terms of programming, but running a building is a different commodity, it's a different skill set. And so we've had some challenges with Boys Club. So we're reviewing some of that now, along with the elected officials, inclusive of, I'm also the representative of Congresswoman Yvette Clarke on the board. And so we're reviewing now with the local electeds on things that have gone well and things that haven't, and we're sharing it with them and giving them an opportunity to feed back to us what they'd like to see, and we're up for the challenge. I want to make sure I said. I wanted to leave for sure the committee assignments for. Let me leave that with you.
Okay, sure.
I didn't have time today to get the copies. I actually went over to the NHS had a tenant support services down the block, and I was running to that for a few minutes, and so I didn't have the time. But I wanted to give you an opportunity also. Unella has been my vice chair for the past 5 years as well. They just voted us back in as the executive team. The great Miss Abigail Tim was added as the secretary, so we dropped everything on her that we've been holding on to for 5-6 years. BF Partners, who is the developer of the building, they actually own the residential buildings on the back end of that. If you recall, and I know most of you are from this neighborhood, back in the day when that was just an armory, that was the parking lot. So that parking lot now has these major buildings back there. So even the developer, his forte was not running this building. He's a developer. So he's learning some things too. And so we're discussing a lot of different things with EDC, who is the asset holder. EDC owns that building. And so I've had a better relationship with EDC over the years, and able to bring them back into the building, because when they look at buildings as asset, they're just looking at the square footage and the rentals and all that. And the advisory board has been able to show them that they have to take a stronger position in terms of the things that were happening in the building. One of the things that I wanted to implore upon everyone when I first took the board seat was that we did not want the Major Owens Armory to turn into a rental space like how the Barclay Center is. You can rent the Barclay Center. It's a community space, but when it's closed, it's closed. If they're not renting it, it's closed. You can't use it. We did not want the space to be rented to the highest bidder, because then that would close out all of the community. So we have to make sure that the community benefit numbers that were written back in 2016, 2017, with the then council member Lori Cumbo, we want to make sure that those numbers are real and happening now. One of the situations that we're having, which we're working on bettering, is the situation with the swim. We know that historically Black people and Latinos really lose their lives in larger numbers in all 50 states. And especially here in New York, I think we had about 9 lives lost early in the summertime. So one of the things we said, well, why are we closing the pool at 8 o'clock? Well, the pool closes at 8 because the community benefit numbers do not benefit the for-profit operator. They're there to make money. And so how long can they stay open giving out free lessons? So they were closing at 8. The board didn't have any of that. We said, you can't. You have to close that space at 12, at midnight, and we got to figure it out. So we're back at the table looking at the numbers. That's what I'm trying to impress, is that we're looking back at the numbers based on what was written in 2017. And if you recall, we went through COVID. A lot of things have changed, and you have to change with that issue. We have to figure out how to rewrite those numbers. We have to figure out how to bring more grant money in. We have to involve more of our elected officials. Not so much that they're not involved, but you have your presidential race. The congressional people are in Washington. You have your other flare-ups, the mayoral stuff that's going on. The shift that's happening, it's hard to get all of our electeds under one, for you all, I'm sure you all go through that here as well. Back in my time when I was sitting in a room with Vita, I started out with Vita very long ago, and you'd have all the Black and Latino leadership in Central Brooklyn, and you'd either sit on Fulton Street or you'd sit right here at Mega Ave, and you talk through all of the issues. If you didn't agree, that was okay. Stay over there and listen, but don't get involved to where you're going to stop the movement. And there was more cohesiveness in terms of leadership. We're not seeing that right now, and we're trying to grow something. I'm still trying to raise up some of the young leadership that's coming in and out of politics now. It's very tough. I mean, I think what's been happening is folks have been just waking up in the morning, having breakfast, and saying, I want to be an elected official.
And don't consider what's involved.
Yeah, they don't have historical content, they don't know policy, they don't know how to write
They
laws.
just want to say.
They just want to say I'm here. So then what we end up having,
But they met a developer who told them that they
I know.
could. See?
And so what we end up having is a lot of folks who can cut ribbon well and take great photos.
Right.
And the other thing, and I don't want to talk too long because I could turn this into my board meeting. I don't want to do that. We welcome you to any of our board meetings. We're on the third Wednesday of every month. So I think we're back next Wednesday.
Yes.
We have a few folks that will come in. We actually should just invite you as a whole so that you can come in as a group to one of our board meetings.
If I may say, one of the
Yes.
things we're planning this committee is to have a seminar in there, each of those institutions.
Right,
So
right.
just
Okay.
start fitting out into a program.
That's fair,
I'm
yeah.
hoping before we leave, you have a calendar and we'll put you when we come.
That's fine. That is fair. And work that, and it's great that we have the young lady here that works on both sides.
Both sides.
She can manage it all. The last thing I want to implore, and I was saying to last time I was here, Brother Musa Moore was in here. It's a while ago. Yeah, come out of that think tank. I think one of the things that me and Musa sort of, he's a little younger than me, but he still came up at a time with some of the griots that raised us in this environment. One of the things that we're losing, and I think we have to figure it out as a community, is getting young people on boards. They're not on boards. No, I know you have them. You have one here.
We have one here.
And we
yes.
have one too, and we're pushing on folks, but there's other boards across Brooklyn that are losing, and we're losing out. For instance, Interfaith. Interfaith, the situation is Interfaith, and they started going very fast and good, and then they lost out because there are some board members who are now at Interfaith who are more tied into Maimonides, who really could care less about Central and what's going on. So we've lost some of the leadership there. I know Brother Beast Reed was there. Money, I mean, we just have to
I
get
work
young
for
people.
Northwell, so that's how I know how it is.
Right. And the only reason I'm saying that is because we're pushing on some of the entities like Brooklyn Plaza Medical Center. I'm saying to them, and some pushback, that we want to make sure that we have 2 new board members from this community on their board,
Right.
and 2 youth members, non-voting, but bring 2 youth on your board so that they can see what it's, I just zeroed in on them in that way. And I know not everybody has that time, but even if they're not our own children, if we can put young people on board, have a better chance of succeeding with things like an armory or development and that sort of thing. So I'm gonna give you Nella. Yes, sorry.
Can we pivot back to, you were talking about the swimming pool in particular.
Yes.
The swimming pool was closed at a certain time, and you would like to be open at a different time. And how would you go about making it happen?
So there are a few ideas on the table that we're looking at. Here was the initial problem, and like I said, after 3 years, you get to see why something didn't work. And we should not have had a for-profit company doing this work. There should be no for-profits in that building. So you had a for-profit who's for-profit. And even though they're making money, they're still doing the community benefit number. They've doubled the community benefit number and still were about to lose money. So they had to close at 8 so that they could stay solvent. We need a nonprofit in there, or bring in a nonprofit to work with them, that when they close at 8 o'clock, at 8:01, the nonprofit will
Somebody
take
take
over.
over.
So we brought in a team called, and I don't know where this came from, probably the ancestors. I woke up one night, just was a little upset, and went on the phone and said, we gotta find someone. And this organization came up, and the name of it is Black People
Will
Will
swim.
Swim.
That's right.
Right.
People who?
Polana.
Yeah, we'll swim.
That's
swim.
right. So we
That's
I wonder if
contacted
you ain't
them,
charging me an arm and a leg to learn.
and we've been working with them for the past 2.5 months to see how the arrangement can be made that they would come in as the nonprofit operator from a certain time to another time and manage through those hours that won't interfere with the for-profit. The for-profit will
Yeah,
make their
no.
money.
Yeah.
So those are the things that the advisory board has played a major component in. The other thing is, and I think we should share the bylaws, our bylaws. Well, our community benefit agreement is more important because our mission statement, we are the only group, the advisory board is the only group in the community benefit agreement that is there to perpetuity, right? EDC can sell that building off, the developer can run and say, I don't want to do it, the operator can leave, but the document states there will always be a community advisory board. And so with that, we stand tall in that building, even when we know that folks don't want to see us, don't want us in there. But when there's been problems in the building, it's been the advisory board that has set the path. A couple months back, or a year now, they had the shooting in the building, if you recall. And it was the advisory board that stepped up and did the press conference and did all the relationship building and brought in all the doctors that came in to sort of sit and talk with the young folks. We were hoping at some point to bring those two young men back in the building as time went on and they got through this issue, the police issue and so on, and bring them back into the building, plant those seeds and bring them up in a way that we could use them to manifest a new beginning for the young men that did the wrong thing. They both did the wrong thing.
So,
Yes.
the people living in the building,
Mhm.
so there was the original contention that it wasn't gonna be affordable. Do you believe that there are affordable housing there now?
There is affordable units. I couldn't sit here and tell you what the numbers are. We can get the numbers for you because those numbers are into the public. We know that there's a certain level that is written into the CBA that they are meeting. Was that number a quality number? Was that a good number to begin with? I can't tell you yes or no. But I can tell you, and I do know that the other units, not the affordable units, the other units are pretty high. Those numbers are out the window. We know
So,
that.
and how many apartments are in there at this time?
If I,
It's over 200.
yeah, it's close to, I think it's
That's
close to
affordable.
300.
No,
No, that's
what I issue with.
That's
Right.
affordable. I think the number was about 20 to 30% were affordable units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
everyone
it's-
can go in the same door as opposed to a poor door?
Yeah, no, this building didn't start with the poor door. Those
Yeah, I
are
heard about
It
that.
ain't funny.
Oh, yeah, I
There's no
understand.
four
It
doors.
is.
Everybody
Everybody
goes
goes
to
to building
the same
downtown.
door.
I think in Manhattan.
There's,
what
yeah,
you're
there's-
referring to is the Manhattan building and some buildings downtown
Downtown.
that they did not, they
Yeah,
did
I think
not,
Avenue.
they did not
Yeah.
go forward with that. A lot of folks made a healthy stink about it
Yeah.
and it was pulled off.
Okay.
As we know, folks will do what they want until we stand up and push
and
back.
say,
Right.
These buildings would have never had that with us there. It never was discussed there. I know it was out there, but it wasn't the design of the building. There's, I think, 3 or 4 separate entrances, building themselves, but no pour door or anything of that
Yeah.
nature.
So I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So for the apartments, are there any available now, or would people go about?
So I'm going to put a period at your question only because the advisory board does not have any relationship to the buildings are separate.
Okay.
Separate doors, separate ownership, separate management team. The only thing that's the same that we share is the developer. But
Okay.
we don't have access to anything. I'm just telling you things because I'm in construction and I knew when the building was being built. So I can share that with you, but I don't really know those numbers. That you would have to probably back to the developer for. And I'm sure the local electeds are probably chiming in on those numbers because they were around. That was part of their deliverable to the electeds, but not to the advisory board. Our relationship is strictly to the major owned center,
Okay.
the Health and Wellness Center.
Okay.
I'm sharing more than I should, only because it's here, but you know.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Well,
But,
hi,
yeah.
but I just want to say good evening to everyone. Yeah, I'm a CB9 member as well, for years. And originally, a former chair, Ms. Baker, when all this came into being, and they came to CB9, she chose a rep. And I'm that rep between them and CB9 at the moment as well, so that we could have lines going of communication with the community board as well as with the major one. So there would be no, as our chair said, you know, anything that's going by that we're not aware of. We have two representatives now, because we have one and two. So Abigail is here too, so we're both in Community Board 9, and we still with the Armory. It took us a long time. It was a great achievement for all of us that started out. I remember when we went with the dirt, we broke ground. So it was a major development for our community, and you know, we'd like to see. I have, which Nicholas can give out, and Abby can give the numbers for the CB9 members. There's a special rate as well.
Yes.
So Abigail has the information, and you know, we can. I gave them. So for members in Community Board 9, there's a special rate because of the building itself is in our community.
The one thing else I want to add, that we've also, it has been the advisory board's, not just responsibility, but our imperative to make sure that we honor those from this community. So I don't know if you've been inside the building in a while, but we've honored in terms of recognition on our walls with photos, large photos as well. James Davis, we've also done it for Judge, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We've done it also for Major Owens. We've done it for Dr. Clarence Norman, Dr. Susan S. McKinney, Shirley Chisholm, the Grand Rebbe, Malcolm Schneerson, Jackie Robinson, and so those are major murals within the building. And so, and there's some more that we're looking to do. We're looking to create kiosks where young people can come in and put on a set of headphones, press a button, and you'll hear Major talking, or you'll hear Jackie talking, and that sort of thing. So we still got a long ways to go, but 3 years is not a long time. You know, it takes time to get
It's
there.
an accomplishment
Yes.
that you have done.
Yes,
And
and most people don't
in
know that,
3 years.
right, and most people don't know that the advisory board even exists. To tell you the honest truth,
Yeah.
they don't really know that. And so we've been trying to do more. There's an Instagram up. There's also an intranet where we have a lot of information going on. Again, we've gone from 13 members to 20 members. And so we believe that we have taken the steps to become, I don't want to use the word powerful, but sometimes you just have to be powerful within that type of situation, so that folks don't play with you. And so that's what we believe we have, and we should do more. Your group and our group should do more. I've implored to do more with Medgar Evers. I remember the first time I went, not as a young man. As a young man, I used to go to the Armory because we used to play ball in there and stuff. But I remember going there with Major Owens, and his heart was set on that building going to Medgar Evers, and the politics of that time just did not work out. And so once his name was put on that building, we swore that we would at least try our best to ensure that, you know, and I'll tell you this is the last thing I'm gonna say. One of the committees that we have is a land trust committee, land trust exploratory committee. And we put that one on the table because we wanted the developer and EDC to know that we're not playing. When we choose to move forward, we will look to see how the community will control that building. And they got scared when they saw that. They were like, what are you talking about? Who's on this? And I said, it's exploratory. You don't need to know that yet. But we just hung that out there because we want them to know that there's an opportunity to turn that building into a land trust at some point. It might not be in our time, but let's do the exploration of it.
Right.
And when you guys decide to step out of line, we're going to make sure that we put you back in line. So thank you very much for having us.
Yes.
Anyone from Ebbetsville?
No.
Huh? Ebbetsville? Ebbetsville was one of the major
Yes.
community that they looked into when they were also getting together for the Armory. And a lot of the residents at Evansville take, have access and they take the opportunity to come in all the time with the kids. So, Beverly, your, Beverly
Beverly
Newsom,
Newsom, that's what I was
yes.
asking you.
Yes.
Beverly
She's on the
Newsom,
board.
yeah, she's on the board.
Yes.
She's on the board, she's the tenant leader, so, I spoke with her this evening, letting her know that we're gonna be here in case she wanted to pop in.
Okay.
So, but Evansville was very instrumental, the numbers that they have there, and when they were, thinking of having the community center there, so.
Evansville, Tivoli Gardens.
Tivoli,
Yeah.
yes. So they looked at all you guys and the numbers and, so that was an integral part of what they did.
Me and my daughter went over there,
Okay.
not too long ago.
Mhm.
We went over there, because we wanted to see what's in there, and the gym was basically the real thing. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
and she plays ball, so that was something she wanted to get back into. So, and she's like, well, winter coming, I'm not gonna be playing ball on the court. So, and we went over there, everybody there was so nice.
Yeah.
Security was on point,
Yeah.
so I didn't feel like,
right.
you know.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
made
And then
sure.
we talked, I got to be in the gym.
Right.
I have no complaints,
Yeah.
because they
Good.
were so helpful, so informative.
Good.
And, I felt like, yeah, I would come,
Yeah.
cause I felt like, I feel comfortable
welcome.
there. I felt welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah.
I wasn't felt like, oh, just, you
Right.
wanna come
Like
here,
it's
okay.
just a piece of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Everybody was so nice, explained everything.
I implore you, if you can, to really walk the building, because when
Yeah.
you come in, you see the gym, and it's so
Right.
overbearing.
Yeah.
But go back to the pool,
I went to
the
the pool.
gym, the
Yeah.
second floor, where you
Yeah.
see all, the
Yeah.
third floor, where you
Oh,
see
okay.
the nonprofits.
See, I didn't even know it was the second and the third floor.
Right, right, that's okay.
We should go.
The reason I
Yeah,
would like for this
okay.
committee
Yeah,
to be given a date for tour of the
yeah, sure,
building.
sure, we'll do
Sure.
it,
So
sure.
that's one thing, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know the first time Major Orange came up to community
Yeah.
board nine,
Mhm.
it was during COVID, we had somebody to make a presentation,
Right.
they didn't leave a good impression.
Okay.
I will
wow.
tell you that.
It was
No, they did
horrible.
not.
It was
It
horrible.
was out,
Okay,
okay? So, and I remember, I myself took upon myself to go in
I'm
there
trying
to
to
find out
find
what's
out.
happening 2 years ago.
Trying to find out.
Mhm,
I didn't feel it was as much accessible to the public as I feel it should be. I think one of the problems we had here at the community board was the use of the space.
yeah.
We found out they were charging us so much money to have a meeting like this.
Really?
Oh yeah, that was a problem here at this community board.
Yeah.
So what I realized, the conversation and the communication is not there for us to know what's about, and that's the reason I'm very happy you're here
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
You're giving me a lot of background,
Yeah.
and you're making a lot of what reference of people I've been dealing with the last 20 years.
Yeah,
Including Major Owen.
Yes.
Because I used to be with Nick Perry since college. And Major Owens was part of a couple of his campaigns with
Yes.
John Flato and all these guys.
That's right.
So we have all these
We
people
have
in
the same
common,
thing in
but we are
common.
as the rather somebody that I've met many times.
Yeah.
So, but what we are concerned is to really make it a lot more accessible.
Right,
In terms of sports,
yes.
one of the things we've been trying to do in this community to get an assessment. That is sport activities that is available within the community board. And Major Owens is one of them.
Right,
Okay, I think, and remember Kershid is gonna be our point person because we wanna make, like we make assessment of each of the parks in there.
Sure.
We wanna find out what sports activities that's available within the community, where most of them even do it. And my suggestion may be, probably we should have a lot more community activities there, like championships and all the stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
yes.
What I've noticed, you have IS-92
Mhm.
backyard. You have the Jackie Robinson backyard. There's a lot of sport activity
Yeah.
there.
Right.
Some of them don't want to talk to each other for whatever reason. And
Well,
I think
yeah,
the Major Owens could be a point where we bring all these people together, especially in the winter.
Yes.
Okay, so We'll be working, because she's gonna be working with us.
Good,
He has that background and really interested in sport within Community Board 9.
good.
So the coming to board 9, great.
Yes, I am, because I'm a swimmer, so I go swimming.
Yeah.
So I did the gym and the swim, so I've seen all the weights and all the stuff. And we've spoken to a lot of people that are really, they finding out, when I'm telling them how good it is to join, so people say, yeah, let me try.
You know, anything to the highest bidder will always exclude others. And that's what we're really trying to figure out. I will, because you guys are a community organization, I can share things with you. There will be a change by January 1st of the operator
For the
for the Army.
operator of the building,
Operator of the building,
okay?
because they're great at operating programming, but they're not doing programming in the building, they're operating the building. So we've had some disconnects there.
Make that clear.
The operator of the building now, in name, is a great programmer. They run programs. The Boys Club has run
Programs,
great
okay.
programs forever.
However,
They're not running programs at the major homes. They're running the building, which is not their forte. And so we've had to make a shift.
so running the building, I'm still missing the nuance here. So running the building is keeping doors open?
Keeping doors open,
Getting trash
security,
out.
clean, community folks, families coming in,
Events.
engaging the event, the schedule, renting out to people from the community prior to some, for instance, we had a Japanese team that came from Japan and took over the building for about 3 days during COVID, shoot a video, and Union Street was closed for 3 days and blah, blah, blah. We can't have that. How much did you make? Nothing, because at the end of the day, they probably spent $150,000. But you charged them this, that's why they're here. Not because it's a great place, but because we can't have that. And so we've had to make some adjustments. So by January 1st, there'll be a new operator. And probably hear about it in the next probably 30 days because there'll be a transition period. And this has gone for a while. We've had to deal with that for a while. Again, Boys Club is a great organization. They have great programming for young boys. But that alone, great programming for young boys means that there are no girl programs.
I was just gonna say, cause I grew up in the Boys and Girls Club.
Right.
Yeah.
So therefore, this is some of the difficulties. So I don't blame them. But when you're out of sync, you have to make a decision. This might not be for me. And let someone else who does do this work run the building. And so we're working on that now. And I think we're very close to signing on a new team, and it'll be more public in a few weeks. But I think it'll be in the better direction. Yeah. And I want to share that. I haven't shared that with anybody but my team, so I'm sharing that with you.
We're under the tyranny of the clock.
So, yeah. That is always a
I
deal.
want to
Yeah.
thank you very much, and we know this is not going to be the first meeting. We will invite you back as much as we can.
Great.
And like I said, I want to get from you that we will give you a date
Yes.
where the whole community will come in. And we'll
Abigail
tour
has
the building.
access, she
Yes.
has access to the
Yes.
calendar for that building.
Right.
And so you work with her on the
I work
date,
with her
we
on the
will
date.
be there.
Okay.
If we can do it earlier part of our board meeting, because everyone will be there. You'll have our board, your board, and we can walk the building and then sit down in the Betty Carter room, which you obviously haven't seen.
No, I
The
didn't
Betty
know.
Carter room,
Yes.
huge event room,
Oh, wow.
30-foot ceiling,
Yes.
Betty Carter's
In
face
there?
on the, yeah. See, you haven't walked the building.
I have it.
I know,
We
I
went to
know.
the first floor, to the
Yeah.
gym and the basketball and pool.
And one of the last questions.
Yes.
Are there any more space for other community organizations to come in?
So there's no more open space right now. All of the spaces that have been built out are utilized. Nothing says in the future if somebody decides to move on, we should probably have, and we talked about that as a team, we should probably have a short list of groups that might want to come in if there is some space and not make it a whole boondoggle. Hey, these folks were here, they've been waiting and so on. So if you have some folks that you believe would benefit from a space, one of the things that we've been talking about to them as well, because this has become a very big food desert over on that Bedford side, is creating a farmer's market within the building and do a grow at some point. I'm working on that directly with the developer, but it comes down to a lot of engineering and have to look at how much weight the roof can hold and if it needs that, So we're working on that, and so things take time.
I have one quick question. Looking forward, I know we have Abigail with us.
Yes.
Right? We normally have a fair at the end of, May,
The resource
around that
fair.
time, right? So, I'm wondering if you guys would be interested, I'm almost sure you'd be interested in coming to our fair, so you can advertise,
No, they have attended, they've been there for the last.
Well, I was with the last.
There was another member, the former board member.
First.
What's her name?
Is that fair?
The
June
housing.
first, right?
I can't remember, was it Valerie?
Valerie.
Valerie, yeah.
works, she works for Boys
She
Club. now.
works
Oh,
for
she
them.
worked
She
for
went
Boys
over
Club.
and she
Oh,
went
okay.
there.
Because she
And so
came
it was
up
a
and
conflict.
did labeling for
Yes.
us, I think. so.
Yeah.
It was a conflict for her to remain on the board at the same
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
But she's still there.
Okay.
Doing good work.
So-
25th.
Okay.
Oh, we try, thank you again, we try to get to the agenda. Have what I was saying, especially when you develop this course.
Thank you very
Okay,
Appreciate your time.
Okay.
let's move on with the agenda.
Want the whole,
Thank you.
want the whole.
Denzel.
Oh, sorry, that's okay. Nice.
Let's move on with the agenda, so,
Take care, ladies.
Yes.
we wanna move to, public commentary. We're missing a lot of members today, and it doesn't, I hope we have a quorum, so we can make some, so, do we have any public commentary? Okay, let's go to the last month meeting. Did everybody get a copy of the minutes?
No. I didn't
That was
get-
email, that was part of the email.
I didn't even get the email.
today?
You didn't get the email.
I did not get an email. I
That's
sent
one of the
it.
things I wanted to check today.
I did not get an
So
email.
how many
from you.
people didn't get an email for the meeting?
What happened?
How many people didn't get a meeting announced in the meeting besides Julia?
I got it.
Did you get the minutes with it?
You mean,
Hold on,
hold on a second, hold on.
came today at 8
Yes, right, 8:04.
But you see, everybody's
I
not
submitted,
on
I've
this.
submitted the agenda and the minutes
Everybody's name
since
is not on
last
here.
Friday. Because
Right.
Denzel did a great job, I wanna compliment him on the great job he did in putting
I
this
got an
meeting
email, I'm
together.
just trying to find it right now, and I tell you if I
One
got,
was sent this morning.
yeah, I got it today.
This morning, you should have received a reminder and the agenda
The
attached.
agenda.
Yeah, and my name's not on the list.
Right.
And your name is not on the list, that's
Right,
what I
that-
figured,
Yeah,
because I have
this is what I got on the email.
Yeah, I have to check with colleagues
I
to
got-
make
that's
sure
what I get
everybody
the
gets it,
notice
because
this morning.
I have a phrase, so, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that
8:04.
came today.
8:04.
What I want us to do is, since Denzel is our secretary, I'm gonna leave the minutes for approval for the next meeting,
Thank you.
and so give everybody a chance to see it. If you didn't get it, shoot me an email. What I'll do, I will send it myself.
Again, to everybody.
Again to everybody, because I have everybody's email addresses, and I will do that. With this, I wanna move on to the institution, or I don't know here, agricultural institution liaison assignment and reports. What we haven't done yet is the assignment, to confirm the assignment of these, who's gonna be the liaison for what and what. But prior to this, I want us to go through a little bit of a roll call to see if we have a quorum, okay? Do you have a list of the members of this board
Yeah, I think I got it from
from the last meeting?
so it may not be comprehensive. But
Alright, well, let me do this, I think I may have
It's not.
something.
From the last From the minutes from the June,
Not on here.
we'll have everybody. No, it won't, because,
It's that,
no, Abigail was here last year.
she was in here.
Last meeting.
Yes, but
Yeah,
this
you're not-
gentleman
I don't
wasn't.
think you're on there.
The one,
No, I'm not saying I'm-
gentleman
Yeah.
sitting next to you, Denzel?
yeah,
Yeah,
And
Akashi.
you were new
Yeah.
last year.
Gloria,
yes.
No, last year.
That
Last
was
year, no.
mailed
No, it
to
wasn't
us
last
today.
year.
No, but I'm saying if
She
you have the
wasn't
minutes
here
from
last
last year, then everybody comes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, how they pick and choose?
Go ahead.
Yeah, because I've been here longer than all of you.
Who this from?
Alright. Alright,
Because this does not include the people who were at last month's meeting.
no, it doesn't.
I think
think
Because-
Gloria was there, and I
Gloria was
wasn't,
there.
I was on.
Is
the
Boyanians in here?
No,
I think
no,
so.
but Abigail
Well,
was
that's-
not on here.
Oh, well, that's the same thing that happened last year. So this is something
I
the,
don't know
this
how
office didn't do quite well, but let me give you the list I have officially. And that's what
Okay,
I'm-
you're gonna use list of,
My list.
officially, and then you're gonna do the roll call at the
And then
same
we'll do
time.
roll call for them.
Okay, let's do that. Right, Abigail. What is this Instagram?
Major Owens?
Yeah.
Major Owens.
Is it on, it's on your, was it on your information packet? Oh, here, it's like, is it on here? Is it on here? Is your Instagram
No,
someplace?
this was mainly just,
Well, we wanna know what your gram is.
okay.
You were on, what, she's on right here. Well, they know about Instagram.
It's
I'm outside.
this, at the corner, yeah. The corner of Bedford and Eastern Parkway. There's still a school in that building.
No, it used to be part of 17, I think. They had something in there.
Right?
It's still there.
There's a different building. Have you ever been in that building? If you come in Union Street, in the basement, you can come in from the front.
I've been
Oh, right, those are. They look more proper.
Yeah, okay. Eastern Parkway is the first floor. But you can come in the back of Union Street. Yeah.
But they don't have that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, the one that they
You
should
said
be
no.
building across the street.
Okay, he's gonna stop. I'll let him know.
The building stopped across the street there, right on Bedford.
But I don't know if you could see it from here.
And that block is with 50 years.
Yes.
Into
I go shopping in Vegas. I was coming up on I've been in the corner there less than 6 months.
Yeah, yeah. Abigail, you know the Instagram for Steve?
I thought I had it. Let me make sure.
Okay, what is your name?
Julia.
Julian? Brian, I'm gonna send it
I'll
in
come
my
to-
phone.
Yes, it's Major Owens CTR.
Major Owens.
Is what you have? CTR.
CTR?
CTR.
You can, yeah.
Okay. Instagram. Yeah, because I have Instagram.
I get my child to do that.
Oh,
I'm really quiet.
Okay, here it is.
Oh, yeah, that's the next one.
yeah.
Can you, yeah, switch over, you can see it.
Oh, you can look?
So this is the people I have on the list, you can see it.
Julian.
Miss Unella?
You can go ahead and see. Because I'm curious.
Yeah, I think so.
You have this, right?
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have all of this.
Okay, so you could make it from that list, that's the official list so far.
Cool. So do we do the roll call now or do the?
Let's do the roll call now, because I want to see if we establish we have a quorum. Whether we have a quorum or not, we're still gonna be doing work, except whatever we do,
No voting.
we can vote on.
I'm gonna send her your number too. Is that right? We're starting as Susan.
Okay, doing roll call.
Okay,
know we
so
get to the table
I'm gonna say
and
names out loud, and if you're here, you can just say present.
Thank you.
So we start with Nicholas,
Present?
Kershid,
Present.
Denzel, present. Courtney,
Not here.
Not here.
Lillian,
Right here.
Melissa,
Seville.
yeah,
Okay, not here. I don't think she's attended yet.
Abigail,
Some people never-
Abigail is here.
Abigail is here.
Gloria,
Not here.
Julia,
Yes.
Frank,
That's a new one. What's the phonetic?
Frank Jose.
Yeah, give the first and last name.
Okay. Brenda Pagan.
Here,
Yeah.
present.
David Romeo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Present.
Eric Lennox.
A
Lennox?
wife.
Yeah. I have not attended yet because these people were assigned. Hopefully, after 3 consecutive absences, we're gonna ask for them to be replaced.
They're new people.
They are no people. I don't even know what they look like.
Oh.
Or why they bothered to sign up to do it, 'cause maybe they didn't.
David Walters.
This
Not
is,
here.
you know,
He
you
said he was gonna
get
start
the,
absent also.
that little form.
Naima Wood.
Naima is absent. She is excused. They were
This
away.
might not have been there.
Great. So that'll be all for the roll call. Is there anyone here who didn't hear their name?
Take it.
You call her Julia?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So students receive the email before I leave tonight. I want to make sure Khalid has your name, so and then we get the email for next meeting. Because that's the reason I wanted to.
Yes.
He did.
He did call Naima, but Naima is not available today. So. Oh, this is my alarm. 8 o'clock alarm. All right, going back to the agenda. So how many people have in total?
I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8.
You have a total of 8 members in the committee?
This is for everybody.
Yeah,
You want me to just
yeah. For everybody, we have 8. Okay, how many people we have absent?
6, 7, 7.
7, which means this committee is 8 plus 7 is
15.
we have a quorum.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're good to go. So that's what alright, so please note in your note that we have a quorum,
Yeah,
people
51.
present. 7 people absent.
Yeah. What is that? Palm?
A quorum is that is 50. It's a legal requirement to make any voting. You have to have a certain majority, which is 50 plus 1. So 50% plus 1. Since we have 8, so we have a quorum. So that's how Congress operate, all the other places operate. That's what makes anything legal according to most bylaws and constitution and charters.
And you don't count as a quorum unless you're in hearing person
Correct.
by New York law.
Yes, by your public law, you have to be present. For example,
Other-
if I
other
want to be
events you
away for
could.
2 months, I could participate what you're doing, but I'm not counted there. I can't vote.
Yeah.
Talking about that, one of the problems we're having, for example, is to, so our letter on the agenda is I'm going to try to see if we could get a Zoom for people that in the committee that are not present, even though they can't vote, but they could really can participate from wherever they are. And also, I think it can be used also to get people to present that cannot be physically here. For example, we have developed a situation with the Pacific Park Zoo, and that's basically, so I'm working on that with the district manager and the chair to see. I already started the conversation, we have to come to a conclusion. Okay? So now, what's next on the agenda?
Okay, you were talking about the liaison.
The liaison. So let's open that up. Does anyone have any preference of which institution they would like to liaison with?
Oh, I thought we were.
The last time, We spoke about it, but we didn't do the assignment.
But,
Oh.
yeah, the assignment was, think about it
Right,
and come back.
right, because show you a chart from last year.
Abigail didn't do
So
her
I
homework.
need to
I
go to
did.
update.
I
You
thought
achieved
we,
the assignment.
I think so, because I thought my assignment was, Brooklyn Children's Museum and the Major Owens. So I contacted, Brooklyn, Children's Museum. No one has gotten back to me, but I will visit. And actually, one of my fellow board members said that they know one of the persons, and he would make that connection.
So-
But I thought we were all been something, I thought we discussed it.
No,
I had it in my
I heard the
notes.
discussion.
the discussion, did we,
But we didn't lock.
We didn't,
so did we do the, did stated in the minutes?
I have it in my notes.
At
that-
No, that's the reason, that's the reason it's good to go over the minutes, because that way we got. So let's
okay.
make a note that a discussion was made and certain assignment has been done. Based on the last meeting, which other we remember? So for now, we're dealing with Major Owens
And the Brooklyn
Museum.
Children Museum, yeah.
Okay, well,
Oh, I guess I'll do Prospect Park Zoo again.
okay.
Is there anything else that's needed?
We needed somebody
You
for
got
the
rid of,
botanical garden.
Oh,
No, I got rid of,
I think-
I got rid of,
Yeah,
I got rid
I
of
think Brenda, you're
Prospect
doing
Park
BBG.
Alliance.
Yeah,
I don't do Prospect.
you don't do Prospect, Courtney was doing Prospect Park Alliance.
Yeah.
Okay, and she's not here today.
Yeah, and I do, BBG.
You do BBG. More than one person can be there for people to participate. Okay. Anybody, Omi, is there anything specific you would interested to be liaison?
The parks.
So you're gonna be part of the Parks Committee. We're
Right.
gonna talk a lot more about that. Okay.
Continue parks.
I was thinking about, doing, band,
Mm-hmm.
because they got a lot of programs, and I was, even though I grew up down there, I never went to BAM. I don't know why.
There's a reason why. One, it costs, and they never send anything towards your neighborhood.
That's true too.
They're not inviting.
So, but when I looked on the, website,
Mm-hmm.
they had a couple of programs that looked kind of interesting, and after-school programs, which I didn't even know they had after-school. programs.
Mhm. I didn't know they had that.
Yeah, see, I'm saying,
Okay, I'll give you the number for the guy.
Okay.
I used to do it.
She used to do it, and then we didn't get a very positive response from her.
Really?
Yes, because our belief is that they're taking our tax money and we're entitled to something back.
Right. So what do you?
Because even though they're all the way into close to Fort Greene, but they serve the whole community.
They serve the whole community.
And when they get built, when they get funding, they tell people that they serve Crown Heights.
Glasgow
but they
Connect,
don't.
right. So it's a good thing. It would be nice if you could try to initiate a
Yeah, maybe
contact.
if you're nicer.
Maybe let's see
I
what
have no
happens.
argument.
And I can say, I could say that Naima has been doing the Brooklyn Museum and she will continue to do that.
Yeah, I did Brooklyn Museum, I got it.
Also, she will continue. Okay.
Listen here.
I say it with everybody. Shoot, my girlfriend said, do you know that that's
Well, who's the guy at BAM?
Okay, so now, and,
Let me go with her. She just came back from vacation and want to hear how it was. All right, take care. Good night.
So Atiba Edwards was who I was trying to contact for the Brooklyn Children's Museum.
Mhm.
Atiba
I
Edwards.
think you should give some more thought to the later one too. I don't think it's gonna.
Alright,
you
because
should get it
what
back.
I would like everyone to do is
Yeah, I
to
don't think it's gonna be
invite
an issue.
these
'Cause a lot of
people,
times with me,
like
10,
we
15 minutes
have
early,
with
they can
the
jump on
major
things,
ones
give
to
me stuff,
come
and I'm already out of there.
So our meeting
to our
or
meeting.
Okay.
Because I can't hear, it's.
To come to our meeting, and because one of the goals I probably wanted to accomplish to do so we could work out on the calendar who we're gonna have when.
Okay.
Let's see if we could get to that, that would be a great thing.
Okay, to come to our meeting. Okay.
To come to our meeting.
Okay. So the next meeting is
November.
November.
It's the second Thursday in November.
Oh, second Thursday.
For that, I was hoping we have the Prospect Park Alliance in the Botanical Garden.
14th, right?
Yes.
I was hoping to have the Botanical Garden and the Prospect Park Alliance. Prospect Park Alliance already sent me an email, say they wanna come in November.
Good for them.
So we already have them scheduled for November. So reach out, there's a new person at the Botanical Garden. Yeah, there's a new one,
Right.
Ethan Leff.
Yeah, his name is Mike Shaw.
Yes, I think I met him once, so,
I have a report, I've done my work.
oh, great. So I would, so contact him, we would like for him to come, they have 15 minutes to present at our next meeting in November.
15.
Yeah. Sometime maybe longer, but that's if you do. The next thing, if you make a good contact at BAM, we would like to invite them to come and present what are they doing.
What do they
Just
do?
come,
What do they offer?
come here, come talk to the community,
Right.
okay? What's next? But you, Mr. Oduro,
I
is
think
there
so.
any area you're interested in? The area that's left is the individual parks and sports. So I know
Sports.
our point person gonna be Kershit.
Question response.
Kershit and I, we had a good conversation about it. Same way I had a conversation with you regarding Boys and Girls Club. You were talking about an after-school program or
Well, I grew up in the Boys and Girls Club, right there, the one that's on, by Farragut. They was closed, and then I heard they had reopened. So I haven't been that way in so long, but yeah, I grew up in Boys and Girls Club. Me, my sisters and all of us, we worked there, we grew up in there, my daughter went there.
Is there
Do you wanna
any
do that?
activities in our community but that's similar, that will parallel your experience we can provide to the young one around here? Us as a park recreation community, this is something we're interested in.
Oh, the parks
What,
committee?
because what can you think of a program, of an activity that we can initiate? It could come from us, but that would be similar to Boys and Girls Club. From what you're saying, there's not much of those activity here in this community.
Okay. I don't see, besides the community center right here, right, the Major Owens, I don't see a lot of community centers of Boys and Girls Club
Yeah.
in here. Yeah, you know, cause there's one in Flatbush. I think it's one or two in Flatbush, then there's the one downtown
Okay.
in Farragut. But I haven't seen one in Crown Heights.
Okay.
Sorry to bombard my way in your meeting. But
No, actually, it's a, this is a
But
public.
the issue is that it's something that maybe we could look into, right? To see exactly what they're offering and what would be advantageous for us to do for our community. And it's up at the Major Orange. So I mean, Abigail and I can.
I know when we was at the Boys and Girls Club, they did a lot of stuff with the kids.
Yeah.
They took, you know, like after school, they helped them with the homework. But they took them on trips to different colleges. When it was time to go to the colleges, they had their own summer camp upstate.
Right, yeah.
You know, and it was affordable. It wasn't, you know, it went by people's, and when you went to the camp, and it was 3 weeks. Yeah, I sent my daughter every summer, right? And they had different sports in there with them, wrestling, basketball, whatever, you know. It was something, it kept the kids off the street. It kept us busy. We looked forward to going to the Boys and Girls Club. You know, even when it was open on some Saturdays, they had something special, we was all there, we was running to the Boys and Girls Club. And our mothers felt comfortable with sending us.
No, this was a safe space.
It was a safe,
Yes.
yes. So,
Abigail and I had a conversation that fits within that. She's been to some of the school, and one of the things that principals are concerned about is that we have so kids at a very reading level.
Yeah.
And I think, and I suggested that she contacted the people from Mr. Tayo and
What
they
about
have
police
a lot of
activity?
the program and work out because they are already into the building and they have some similar program, find a way to make it
To
a
make
little,
it, right.
to make it. We are if Tayo presented also at this board. I think we should go invite them again
Yeah.
to come
I
and
mean,
present
they're-
what they do and in the community and all that stuff. It was a
Who's
good
this?
presentation 2-3
Every-
years ago.
huh?
Who?
Every time.
If Tayo.
Ifataya, they're in the armory, they're children, programming,
Mhm.
and they have the kids really involved and.
I'm surprised there's no PAL here.
No, there's not. That's one of the things we don't have in this community. I don't see PL either.
Okay.
One of it to do that is to push the precinct calendar. Say, how come we don't have PL here? Why don't
We
we have
used
it?
to.
Yeah,
We
why
used
you
to
don't have
have
a PAL?
after, so when I spoke to the principal, at 161, he said it all boils down to funding. When I attended 161, there was, after-school programs, there was music programs, there was even, District 17 programs where we would all meet, right across from Major Owens. That high school, it's a
Oh,
dual
yeah.
school now. We used to meet there Saturday mornings, and they would drop you to your elementary school. So you would find your way there, and they'll drop you back to your elementary school, and you have to find your way home. So when I spoke to him, he said, yeah, he remembers those programs, but there's no money. Another thing too, there was a
There's
lack of
money.
parent, it is.
Oh, no, there is
There's
money.
no-
Money is a
There's
problem.
money.
There's money not allocated for that.
Well, it needed to
Well,
be because a lot of the
right.
kids can't, and the parents aren't really involved. And if you're struggling, you have to be at work, and you're coming home tired, you're preparing meals. A lot of parents really didn't have the time to sit down and do the homework or help their children in a way that, not saying that they didn't want to, but they themselves were burnt out.
Yeah.
Right, and
Okay.
some people working two
Yeah,
jobs.
just to make ends meet.
Right.
Is there any way we could, the senator, Myrie, who can sponsor?
Yes, we can approach
So
it. All
we-
the elected to do that, but I think the best way to do is for us to put a program
Put
on
it
paper
together, right, put
and
it together.
approach them for that.
Yeah.
The other point I want to take, I am a former school teacher. I spent most of my years at Prospect High School. And most of these school facilities are now close to the community.
Oh, yes,
Our others at Prospect Heights, you have people from other community coming. You have a pool there, and most of the time it's somebody outside community using it.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was a pool.
He can help us
And
explain that. He's also a former educator, so you got
Well, I taught at Prospect Heights. I didn't know they had a pool.
they have a very nice pool.
I didn't know that.
That's the same.
Come here to learn, we come here to learn.
The same kind of school you're gonna find at Jefferson Heights is the same kind of school you're gonna find at not at Midwood. What's three schools that are exactly identical? What's the school for on Bedford Avenue after Brooklyn College? Madison.
Midwood. Oh,
Madison. These buildings are identical. They all have pool. I used to be in the swimming team when I went in there. So I swam most of the high school pool all over Brooklyn. So, but the problem is because at Prospect, I will realize a lot of the space, they don't allow the community. The problem is the Board of Ed also. Remember the problem we had when we were starting to talk about the result, I wanted to have the whole Boys and Girls High School field. It's almost impossible to get into those facilities. And one of the problems me and Romy had remarked for, what is it, Jason Park?
Yeah, Mark and G's part.
Mark and Jason Park.
Oh, yeah.
Which is one of the worst spots they haven't fixed, which is one of the things we're going to try to get to. So, Board of Ed, the left doesn't know what the right is doing. There is no communication
Right.
between the board and the Board of Ed and what they do. Actually, our course was between the parks and
And the
the
board of
school.
yeah.
Okay.
So can I ask
Yeah, sure.
the old boys,
Yeah, that's not in your neck of the
that's
woods.
right up from me.
Yeah, that's your neck of the woods.
So,
That's
you guys, it has been there for, I don't even know how long.
because I think this is something we should have the elected to look into.
Yeah,
because
we need
There's
to-
a few people that control it. They only let my observation. I don't know if it's accurate. Whomever they want have access.
Right.
So this is something as a board, we need to go and look into.
Yeah, all summer I saw very little happen there. All
Some, you kidding, they used to have soccer tournaments there,
Right.
they used to have all kind of
Yeah.
events.
very little happened.
So we have to find out what is the Board of Ed doing, you know, give access to
They
the.
just did over the field.
Yeah, the field is immaculate.
You kidding, I haven't been there.
My son, his team practices over the actual
Soccer,
soccer, Central Brooklyn Soccer, or is it football club? I don't know. But they
Yeah, it's-
seen pictures because I asked the older one to take pictures of the younger one at practice.
oh,
But yeah, a beautiful field.
You
But
used to have a league then.
they used to, you remember when the box got
Immaculate.
broken into?
you kidding,
Yeah.
I
You
didn't
used to have a- you used to have a
Well,
league then.
that,
I went
that,
to
well,
games there.
well, that allows to segue into two things. One,
It's changed.
I had sent an email to everybody about a biannual conference.
Right.
They had a chance to look at it, because one of the things when we address there, I'm the Board of Ed is not talking to the Parks Department, and the Parks are not talking to the Board of Ed, since they both share spaces, almost at the back of every school. Department is responsible for part of it. So that's one of the things we want to find out. Okay,
Probably you could ask, you know, the guys from the Parks Department here to come to our meeting.
Oh, no, they're not.
Yeah, yeah, because.
They just put a new program called Vitals, which I have to share with you.
Mhm.
That's the next one we're doing. We want them to have the district manager come, she has come a couple of times.
Right,
From
right.
Vital Brooklyn?
Yes, just for the parks in the area,
Mhm.
to come even if possible, the board commissioner to come.
Right.
But definitely we could get the district manager, I have to tell Dante, we would like for him to come to what's happening in there. Because 2 years ago, you, I, and David did the tour of the parks.
Yeah.
We didn't get to, there's a few parks we didn't get to see.
Mhm.
So we didn't get to Wingate, we did to the one on Lafayette Avenue, and we didn't go, we didn't go to the one across Prospect Park High School because we've been there so much, we know that the condition are.
Right.
So one of the things we gotta put in the car when we're gonna do the tour, first we do the tour by ourselves
Right, okay.
to see what's there, then we call the commission and then we'll do the tour with him, because he's the one to have to answer the questions.
Mm.
Okay, so, why do you go about that proposal for the conference?
And then
Brenda had,
Especially
Brenda
concerns.
had some concerns.
Sure,
I didn't get about the conference.
Especially concerns.
That would be the bus
it's
withdrawal.
not been discussed.
Sent an email with those.
Brenda says she sent you an email with her.
Yes, she did, I did your email.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we
So
all-
with anything that we do, you know, we have to figure out how do we evaluate it? What's the goal?
Right.
What are the outcomes that we're
But
expecting?
think, yes.
What impacts do we get to see from it, and how do we assess that? How do we
That's the
connect?
kind of thing I'm expecting from this committee to tell us what to do to move forward.
Right.
The only thing I want to announce is that in March, I spoke to the board president about it. That the idea, he asked me to call the person responsible for community board. I just sent it to her. She said they're gonna look. She said, thank you for the initiative. So I'm awaiting a response from them, so by next meeting to see. My next thing, I'm gonna send them to the various city council people and to see, I even have developed a preliminary budget for what it would cost already for that. I don't know if I sent that.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
No
Wait a
numbers.
minute. Back up. Did the committee vote on that?
No. That's the reason we're having on it
So
now.
you're passing around
You're
you're passing around a budget.
No. I'm not asking them on a budget. All I'm saying, this is an idea I have, this is what it might cost. Nothing is definite, nothing permanent until we vote on
But-
it.
You didn't buy in from this community, from this committee.
Well, that's the reason we have a discussion. It's a
Okay.
proposal. All it says,
It's
a proposal. So
So you have.
this committee has to approve it. The general board has to approve it before we could move forward. So this is
Okay, so.
just for your information and for discussion. You understand what I'm saying?
Discussion we started a year ago.
Right. We're a little
Now it's
things
grown, now it's growing.
Now it's
Just
gone.
good
Something
now
we've
it's
been
being
talking about
fleshed
for over
out
a
on
year.
paper.
Yes, absolutely. So
Oh, so you're still fleshing out, we're still on fleshing.
this is, it's something in progress in development. And when we got it all settled and all this stuff, our committee, we said, okay, we're gonna do this, let's take a vote. We send it to the exec committee, they say they approve, we send it to the general board, then we go. Okay?
If it gets passed.
If it gets
Those
passed.
are mines.
Yeah.
Well,
But I
no,
think-
no, really, Nicholas, the reason why I'm hesitating is this is a lot of work.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm saying we
And
gotta
you don't
do,
have everybody
I'm
even
planning
showing up.
something to be done in a year,
Maybe 2 years.
2 years, whenever.
Because already you have, okay, wait a minute, I'm just saying all the things that you have for us to do. We only meet once a month.
Right.
We don't have subcommittees.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a lot of work. That may be 2 or 3 years at this rate, at pace.
Oh, no,
It would be-
I beg to disagree. It could be done much faster. I beg to disagree.
Okay, so you're gonna.
And
yeah,
also-
no, don't talk over me,
Mhm.
please. Mike, then you need to get, this is my suggestion, is then you need to get a subcommittee that's meeting at another rate, meeting in
In
between
between,
this,
yeah.
in between this time.
Okay.
Because
Good suggestion.
Okay.
Accept that.
that's my suggestion for you now. To get yourself a subcommittee,
Okay.
so
let's
that it
make
keeps moving.
keep-
Because
keeps moving.
otherwise, you're seeing a lot of things that are getting to be done. Just to go and to visit all the parks is already 2 years. We're already into the second year of looking at all the parks. So there's a lot to do.
I don't know what to do, but I think we could get it.
This,
I think we could.
okay,
I think we could.
okay.
Because
I'm-
What I sense is, since I spread the idea, it may be possible that the president may take the idea and run with it instead of us doing it. It may be possible. That's not the normal possibility.
Fingers crossed.
Well, what can we do now to help move this along? We have to, till we have more members present, can we call, maybe, another meeting before the next official meeting? What do we do? Because I remember having that thought before, earlier in this year, maybe June, I don't remember that, okay. From, the feedback was that things weren't getting done. So what do we need to do now? How can I help then?
Yeah.
What do you need me to do to expedite this list that you have?
Well, I think I'm gonna take up Julia's suggestion of a subcommittee.
Okay.
What we can do today, we could decide to take a vote. Let's form a subcommittee to do it. That's the best we can do at this point.
So the subcommittee would do what?
The subcommittee will meet in between our meetings
Mm-hmm.
to work hard and flesh out the idea to make this, that proposal a reality.
For the parks.
Yeah, it's a conference of all the Park and Recreation Committee for the borough of Brooklyn.
Okay.
Because then we could, the concept, the idea behind it, could share best practices, to say this is what's happening here, this is like this thing done, and so on. Give us a chance at this opportunity to meet, to talk about what's happening in the parks in the region, how to deal with it. Let's learn from each other.
Can I nominate myself to be on this subcommittee?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to chair the subcommittee, you could do
Oh.
that too.
Okay.
Just nominated herself.
Okay. So,
Can we
so the
start-
proposal on the floor is, and
Before
we're
you
gonna,
propose,
Mhm.
can we start with hard copies?
Right.
Okay,
So that, because some people got it, some people didn't, whatever.
so,
And
what I'll
this
have,
way, when we're talking about it, we can have it in front of us.
all right, so I'll ask Kathy to plan it for our next meeting or for the next committee meeting, so everybody will have it on paper.
And then we can tick,
Tick
talk
off.
about
Yes, I agree.
the various different things. Some things together and some things are.
Right, so let's, do the action item. The action items here, the proposal, and let's make sure to create a subcommittee.
Make a motion, make a subcommittee.
Is
for-
there a second?
Yeah, I would second that.
Second by it?
Mhm.
Okay. Let me start, is there any objection to common consent?
No.
Okay,
I make
Alright.
a motion, I don't know.
now you don't have. So now, if you are in favor, or let's put it this way, is there anybody who's opposed to this?
Right, that's easier.
Oh, for the subcommittee?
Seeing none, are there anybody who's abstaining? So therefore, we can say this motion has been passed.
Yeah.
The motion to form a subcommittee to, for the biannual conference of community board of education community has been voted on. So we'll pass that motion to the executive committee at the next meeting. Okay? So, done. Next. Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
I'll call you.
Okay,
Yes.
so,
Yes.
Bye, have a good one.
Yes, thank you.
What's the next thing, resolution number 3910, business,
calendar of activities and development of for the school year. So now, if we speak about calendar, so do we have any dates we can assign for the different people come?
We have Prospect Park is coming next meeting.
Mhm.
I'm waiting, I have to go down to the show museum and see what date will work for them. I haven't gotten contact, but,
Have you met with them already? I mean, you've got somebody to talk to?
no, but, another member at Majoin says he actually knows it. So I sent an email and but I need to physically be there. I
Isn't
just
her name
haven't.
Deborah?
Or, no, Ateeb Edwards
Ateeb
is the
Edwards.
chair.
Oh.
You know?
No.
Yeah, he's the new chair for the new chair, the new
Yes.
chair.
Oh, the new lady, yeah.
No,
yeah,
a
yeah.
No,
man.
a man now, it's a man now.
Then
There was a
it's not-
lady before.
Right, there was a lady and then there's. okay.
Now this is a
Okay.
man, it's a black person.
Okay, so then this is what my question is for them. Can you get them to tell us how deep the children's pool, the children's pond is going to be? That people who are planning to sail children's boats
Oh, okay.
need to know the depth of the pond. It's not an abstraction, there's a number. If they say they'll get back to us, that's the one, because, oh, I don't know, it's gonna be deep. That's not good enough. I need to know how big my boats are gonna be.
Okay.
So this is about the whole thing.
This is, we're trying to get a
Prospect Park
calendar together.
Alliance.
So,
No.
Who's coming
I said
when and when
Brooklyn
actually doing
Museum.
when.
I don't know, but I
You're
wrote it
not
down.
doing, you're doing
It
Prospect,
was never in Prospect Park.
who's doing Prospect Park Alliance?
Prospect Park Alliance was cutting last year. If not that, I probably will do it because I've been attending some. of
Okay,
their
then
meetings.
you need to ask them how deep the children's pond is.
Children is in the Prospect Park or what?
In Prospect Park.
Okay, she's gonna be here next week. We could also
I know,
have-
but she's not gonna know when she comes.
Now we call her.
Come and then tell me, and so, do you understand? If
I
I
understand.
suppose, bring the information, because it's
Before.
not
No,
something
no,
you
no,
should
I'll make
have
that
around.
request. I'm planning to have a conversation with her too,
Okay.
okay? Because at the last meeting, I hinted, when I was at the Prospect Alliance meeting about the biannual conference. I talked about it a little bit, he said.
Okay,
let's
yeah,
talk.
because I wanna show her the books I want.
All right, I'm looking at calendar, I don't know, I'm trying to put a calendar activities. We know the resource fair we established the last time, right?
Yes.
And we also, the biannual conference will be the weekend after that, so that's two calendar. But is there any other particular activity we would like to calendar?
Why do you gonna have it the next, I mean, I don't
Back
have
to
to
back.
back to, already, that's the thing, back to back,
Okay.
come on.
Justin, because
It's, okay,
my suggestion was, I
I'm totally
understand
against
why, I don't know. My suggestion is that we do it in June, or we do it in September.
yes, then let's think about
So
it.
then we have.
Plan for June, you're ready, everything's ready, so the thing that jumps off in September.
Right.
Because otherwise, back to back,
I agree. That's my thinking exactly.
then we're in agreement.
But as you speak to your different institution, get date from them to put together a calendar. A, when we're gonna do a tour, and B, when they're coming to do a second meeting.
Mhm.
So those are the information we need to put on our calendar for the year.
Okay.
When we're gonna do a tour of
The
Their,
park.
their facility,
Prospect Park Zoo.
Prospect Park Zoo.
right.
Okay, but.
So we could do the same thing we did with the
But
museum.
they,
So,
are we telling them to tell us when they can come? Cause BBG
No.
wanted to come this week, I know.
No, they schedule for next, I would love for them to come for next week, because I
Did you
was.
schedule with somebody?
No, I didn't schedule, I was about to call them and do that, so.
Okay, yeah, because I talked to Mike today.
You
We're
did?
not meeting next week, right?
No, that's
Next
food
meeting.
and sleep, that's
Next
slip
meeting.
of the tongue.
Yeah, yeah.
Sit down, slip of
Okay.
the tongue.
Now, when, okay, for BBG, it's the usual, tell us about what you have planned in the year and what the
Benefits of the community. Is there any special discount that's available this year or so on like that?
No, we still have a discount.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just saying.
for example, in the winter when they have that light,
Light show, the light show at
the
the
light
There was no
show.
for
discount.
Christmas.
There was no
Wasn't there a
discount.
discount?
No, there was no discount.
No.
Well, this is something we can argue for.
Yeah.
But they don't
Because if
actually
we
run,
don't, not gonna get.
okay, they don't actually run, they actually don't run.
They actually
They actually
Yeah.
don't. They don't actually run it.
Electricity is high.
Yeah, electricity is hot, but they don't actually run it, so.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna ask them, but.
Alright, doing it, so 8:30. Kirsty, is there
Either
anything
way.
you would like to share with us in terms of how we get sports organized within community board then?
Spots organized within the community board.
What things you are interested in?
Well, we spoke about sports, so I've been involved. I know that I also believe that there's not a great deal of us to sports teams and activities within this area. I've been involved in 78th Precinct, all basketball with them, St. Francis Xavier, Brooklyn Skyhawks, ASO soccer, all these different leagues. But most of them are in the parade grounds, Prospect Heights area.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do we try to get more kids in this community involved in those things? For example, my young son Edgar Evers, aside from a basketball team and maybe a swim team, they didn't have anything. So a lot of kids there who would like to participate in sports but don't know, may not have the money, may not have the access.
Right.
So,
But that comes with the year that wasn't got high school field was sitting there doing nothing within the community.
well, yeah, I mean, also Erasmus has
Erasmus,
a
right.
pool.
Yeah, Erasmus.
They never use it till, and I know that because there's a for-profit named Gateway Sports that rents out the Tilden pool all weekend.
Wow.
So you go there, you'll see all these kids from Queens come to swim. But I don't know if they use the pool for kids in our community.
Right, like Prospect High School has a pool that's hardly used.
Yeah,
So Chris, let me answer, sorry. This high school here, they have a pool.
No.
Meg Rivers, no.
No.
So your team and the basketball.
Well, they probably use the
They
college.
use the
The
Meg
college,
Rivers
that
pool,
college has a pool, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
but not their own.
So, the
But they
Medgar,
only have swim and basketball.
all right, so
Maybe
Medgar,
cricket too. That's about
Medgar
it.
Evers College pool is available
To the high school.
to the high school, and what about to the students at Medgar?
No, it's for their swim team.
Only the team.
Well, okay.
So these are the things we gotta explore to see if we
No,
can make
because, you
change.
know, when I was girl, right? I think 99% of the people who attended Medgar during my time didn't know there was
There was a pool there.
there was a pool there.
I happen to be a pool guy, I knew there was one.
Yeah. No, I mean, I know there was a pool because we used to access it through the weight room. You know what I mean? But it was unofficial. So here and now, let me back up. So about 2 years before the pandemic, they started sending out flyers. Apparently the college wanted to have a swim class and they wanted people to register the swim class. Right? And again, after I heard nothing
Nothing
about that
about it.
pool. So that's why, when you brought up the pool, I'm wondering, well, is
Well,
it...
so there's my older son played water polo, and it was a Murray Russian team. They also rent out the Medgar Evers College pool, and they're quite often there.
So
as
that's
well.
another thing. So I contacted Coach Sue, who usually has a basketball league or basketball team at the park on Winthrop Street. And he said he couldn't afford to bring his team in the winter to Major Owens Health and Wellness. They charge $300 per hour. So I asked him, do you have a non-bid? He's no for
He
the
does have
basketball.
one, but
He said yes. So I told him the only grant writer that I know, and I told him, you know what, there's funding out there for you. See if you can get some funding. But I think that I know Coach Screen was one of the people who had me advocate for Major Owens. So did the soccer team. but they were advocating because they were under the false belief that the community and them included would have
It would be part of
access
the
to
system.
nonprofit organizations. So
Because
I was surprised. He said no, because I remember my sons, who also attend Mega Elvis, but they were going with Coach Screen one son, sorry, my second son was going with Coach Screen at Major Owen period of time. I don't even remember how long. But they had given him access for that time. But it was almost like they were holding the carrot in front of him. They said, oh, now you have to pay $300 an hour. And my son has never paid Coach Screen to go and play with him. And he's been playing for years. Coach Screen didn't even allow us to pay for the uniforms.
No,
He
that's
actually
another-
had basketball nets, the Nets team
Right,
donate
right,
I
yeah.
never paid for a sneaker, I never paid for a uniform, I never paid for socks.
Yeah.
Coach
That's
Screen
how it's
had
supposed
the
to be.
community
Right.
or whomever, he did say it was the Nets, sponsored it. So it's hurtful in a sense that here he is advocating for this facility, and this facility basically shut the door in his
Shut it
face
in
and
his
said,
face,
what,
yeah.
$300 an hour, and charging the boys.
now,
Well, that's what he was saying, that it was for a profit, you're gonna
Right.
change.
so we gotta make some of the changes, because I spent with Coach Screen, I call everybody I know, trying to get him a place to practice in the winter. You have parochial school that have gym, they don't use it. I reach out to everybody I know, everybody's saying no. He ended up leaving the community to go all the way to Boys and Girls High School. Because most of these kids don't live in Boys and Girls in the program he has. And that's one of the reasons that inspired me in trying to put together this biannual conference. It's from my conversation with Coach Green. If you look in some of the proposed workshop, they're supposed to workshop on sports, where I told him I want him to be one of the panelists to talk about what has happened to him. He's been running a basketball 20 years.
For free.
For free for over 20 years.
I have schoolmates who told me they played with Coach Screen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because
One thing that's important is when you, like, for Erasmus, they have the gym. But I know for sure, because my son was participating on a lacrosse team that is from South Brooklyn. And again, they were taking gym space
Right.
on the weekends.
Oh, right.
So the question is, because getting permits for gyms from public schools, I mean, it's an open process.
Right.
But it's the question of getting to them first.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's any way to inventory this to find out who are using these permits, when are they using these permits? Because if you have 100 lacrosse kids from Brighton Beach and places like that coming to Erasmus to use the basketball gym for lacrosse, is that appropriate use of
Yes,
the
that's what I
basketball?
understand.
That's something where he could be there,
Mhm.
but he wouldn't be able to because he's not getting that
Yeah,
permit.
because
The schools, individual schools know. They have a calendar, they have a schedule. They know what organizations are in their schools. You have to sign up. You have to be a part of some program. I know one of the schools was, I think, Wood Junior High School. So I know people.
Actually, that's not true. I mean, I was principal for 11 years,
Mhm.
and I did have a gym that I would deal with the department quite a lot, but I didn't know all the community organizations who were in there because they can get their own permits for your gym
Right.
when you're not there. So I didn't know that.
We went through, I guess you could be right. That's based
I,
on your
I, I,
experience.
did, I knew the
didn't
fire
have-
department was there. Other than that, there was another community-based organization that was doing all kinds of sports. And I remember one night I was leaving around 6 p.m. and about 400 kids showed up, and I was like,
what's
"Wow."
coming to your
I didn't even
building?
know. I didn't know what
I
was
thought
going
the
on.
principal had to know what's going on in the.
No, you don't necessarily know. They
Some-
can get permits without
From the
your
custodian.
approval. That, I mean, it's good that you do know, but realistically, when your kids leave and your programs are done, they can rent out your gym until 10, 11 o'clock at night if the permits are being bought, and you're not there, so you don't know. So we had a lot of problems with that, because the next day when we come in, my phys ed teachers would find things, right,
They messed up your
who
place.
did this, and I'm like, I don't know, I wasn't here. I don't even know who was there, so I'd have to look into it and figure out who were the CEOs who were there and make a complaint about them to get them out eventually.
So the people who give this,
It's not
right?
the school.
The custodian.
It's not the school.
It's not called, it's in the school you have the principal, then you have the custodial staff, which is a completely separate entity.
But if they're giving out permits, they have to be responsible to somebody.
Yeah, they are responsible to some higher head in the bottom.
So my question now is, she brought up the story of who using the school, when and where.
He didn't always know.
Right, so my question is, how could we find out?
That's the question I'm posing.
Yeah, that's
It's like, how do we
I
know?
was a calendar
No,
that the principal knew.
There's not, and I know in Erasmus, there's 5 different principals.
Yes.
And they spend a lot of time fighting over who's
Right.
getting the
Right.
first and
Right.
who's getting the
Right.
permit for that. None of them know, they're not there on
No.
weekends, they probably don't know who's renting out the gym. And I know those principals, they really didn't know. I knew because I showed up with my kid to play lacrosse on Saturday, and I told them on Monday I was here playing lacrosse. He's like, I didn't know that.
No, they
So-
wouldn't know that.
They wouldn't know.
That's-
The permits are done through the custodial area,
Mhm.
and then also they have to have a certain amount of security agents depending on how many kids they have.
That's what I heard.
Yes,
That they have
you have
a
to have
certain
a-
amount of security.
If you have, you have to have a certain number of bathrooms. If you ever, I've done it a couple of times
What's the topic?
where I help people rent out.
We
Actually,
left, I'll tell you.
did a couple of it. Even we did a video one time.
We left.
So when you rent it out, you have the specific code. You have, if you have X amount of people, they have to open X amount of bathrooms. They have to have X amount of staff and X amount of security.
Okay.
And you have to pay for all that.
What's the question on the table at this time?
The question on the
hours
table
generated.
is to develop a very comprehensive assessment of what's active within Community Board 9, same way we did for the parks. So we could let the community know so they could take advantage of it. Like here, we have one soccer stadium on, one soccer park which is there, but they have an AstroTurf. Then we have wing, we don't have enough soccer in there. And at all, compared to public ground, all those places. But we want to find out what's there so we could let the community know so they
What's
they
your-
use them.
What's our next step? I mean, maybe you
Well,
have a subcommittee for
this is
that.
an open discussion. Can somebody make a suggestion? What should be our next step?
I'm not a sporty person.
Well,
No, it's a question about
I'm
you.
new to it, so I don't know what was discussed last year. But
Nothing,
for-
nothing. You're new.
This is
But,
new.
but
This is
I was, when she was telling me the story about the guy who's done basketball for 20 years and
Yes.
can't find space, that hits me, because I'm like, you shouldn't have to
You
go
know,
to boys
no,
and girls.
I went
in
to
order
the
do-
parochial school. I spoke to the district leader. I went to the Rita Joseph before she was a council person to the school where she used to teach. Coach Queen graduated from Erasmus. He used to be at Erasmus, then they stopped. He used to be at the park on DS 92. The new person in charge don't want him to access it. Something is wrong in that process.
How you mean?
So trying to figure out and make it
That's
clear.
what I'm trying to get to the
You would
bottom of that.
Okay, so what would this committee would like to do? We want to launch an investigation, a report on the program and put it out? Oh.
Oh, why not follow the channels? If the channel go through the
Because
custodial
that's what
and
we
pull a
are.
permit, why can't we
You're
just
getting a lot of
advise him
fire
to
here.
go through?
I don't know, we are a city agency, believe it or not.
Right.
And our job is to let the public know what the city has to offer.
So I only advised him based on what I knew at the time. I didn't know that there was the channel was to go through the custodial staff of a school that he would like to bring the boys.
Yes.
He must know this.
He knows
because he's
that,
done
he knows
it.
that.
I
He
know
said,
it. I
well,
was-
they used to let me
I
use
was
it
that
and then
too.
they stopped. He said, no, I'm not gonna talk, that guy don't wanna do anything for me anymore. He knows the process.
Right, so he knows the process. So
But the
there's a-
question
there's
is,
something-
it shouldn't be,
I think so.
the access, there should be a lot more access for the community.
I
If
think
you
it
got
should
a
be-
team all the way from Brighton Beach to come here and use the facility,
Right.
why doesn't the kids in this
Because the
neighborhood
neighborhood know
know it?
about it. So I think it should be some investigation done, because somewhere somebody's doing some crooked, underhanded stuff. Because it's impossible that nobody in the community know about it.
And people from Brighton Beach
Beach.
know.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Now, because they have a personal connection with somebody, and that's what I'm gonna tell you. Because at Prospect, we used to have a group,
I didn't even know
on Saturday,
Prospect had a pool.
Prospect High School, we have a team, most of the kids on Sunday are from Bensonhurst or Sunset Park.
This is what I'm saying.
Asians. There's an Asian group that just come there for
Right.
many years.
But my question to that is, the community that Prospect Heights is in does not use it because they don't know about it.
Alright, so let's put it in a formulation and we probably will want the community but to do something.
Correct.
What would we propose I bring to the executive board with respect to
because
that?
everybody
Let's formulate
needs something
something.
first.
Sure.
We need to know what's available that's the whole issue here, that people who live in the community don't
Don't
even
know.
know that there's a swimming pool here, there, a soccer field
Field
here,
here,
there.
there.
So what's the inventory in our community?
Like, what are we missing
For
out
a
on?
event?
Right, what are we missing out on? You know, you got,
How many pools, how many soccer fields, how many baseball, how many basketball courts
Where
are
are we
there?
playing?
So
So that
then,
we
what,
can-
your proposition is for us to do an inventory and assessment of what's available.
Right.
So let's make it as a
What are we
motion,
talking
this
about if
for
we don't even
me,
know what's there?
let's make it as a
How do we
proposal,
address
as a
issues that
motion,
we
this
don't
for
even
me,
know what's there?
will do an assessment
Mhm.
of all the sport facilities that are available in the community, be it in the park, in school building, or anything. So,
And if we inquire about the permit usage, I think that should be
and,
publicly available.
yes.
Right, that should be public. That's
Right,
public
somebody
information.
formulate that for me into a
We pay
motion,
the
so we could vote
taxes
on it.
for
Right.
all of this.
So that could bring it to the executive board and I could bring it to our board.
Can you make a motion on it?
Let's make a motion to inventory available space for physical activity.
There it is. I'll second.
I third it. Play sports, I love sports.
Oh, is there anybody that is opposed? Anybody opposed?
No.
Any abstention? Motion carries. So the motion is an investigation and an assessment of all the sport facilities for the community board now. So,
Okay, that's,
yeah,
that's
that's
been happening.
Who would know this?
no, the information's there. So we just have to.
No. Who would know this? Who?
It would be within the DOE, probably the
Mostly within the
the
DOE.
Department of like facility, wherever you call to get the permits, they would know that.
Right, so if you go for this permit and they said, well, you don't have it here, but we have something over here, sort of like a menu.
Yeah, yeah. It's a general. What I remember is a general number to get the permits. The permits are not expensive.
They're not very
It's
expensive.
very inexpensive
Very
to
inexpensive.
rent an auditorium, a pool, gym, whatever it
Is
is.
it $300 an hour?
No, very little money.
Far cheaper than that.
Much.
Yeah, okay.
300 an hour.
No, because, I recently did a town hall in, MS 61.
It's that same process.
And we
That's
just
the process.
called Rita Joseph.
Oh, no, then she did it for you then.
She did it for us.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that we hadn't gotten that space, they could have told us about another space.
Right.
I'm just saying somebody there knows, so.
So I could explain to you. You as an individual can walk into those schools and say, I want to see the custodian.
Okay, so
Like, this is the
I'm
custodian.
going into a DOE office tomorrow. I'll find out.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
That's
that.
not a hard one.
Okay,
I can-
no,
Well, I'm saying
because it's
Yeah,
just, like.
It's a simple process.
That I'll know tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I think it's a simple process. The only thing require you, it's not for profit.
Okay, oh, right.
If you're an organization.
Right.
If as long as you're not for profit, then.
It's not
then-
for profit. Let's say you're doing an event where you charge at the door or something like that. They have to understand the money you're collecting is for the non-for-profits. It's not for individual trying to. You walk into the custodian office, they give you the form, you fill it out, you give them the numbers you need, and you pay the fee. The custodian goes over it. In some school, you will go to the principal and
But
say,
you're my guy, but that is not correct because there have been several forfeits that have rented gym space. The lacrosse one, the water polo one. This is all big money, and they're renting out
And
space.
they're renting,
I
and they're paying
because
a
when I
different
tried to
fee.
do it, then
No,
sure I
they're
was
paying a
paying
regular fee. Like I used to run a tennis program for Gateway Sports. It's a big organization in Queens. They rent out pool space
Oh,
at Tilden, and that is for profit, for sure.
Okay,
So it's not only, maybe they're telling them they're a nonprofit, but they're definitely not. Because you're paying to go, and the person who owned the program was living pretty well.
Yeah.
okay.
But that's been, so we'll see.
Okay, so.
Okay, let's find out. So
Okay.
we have our
So
resolution.
my question is, are we forming a committee to do this, or are you gonna do
No,
it?
no, I don't think we're farming this for that.
Okay, so the motion is just like, that you're going to do it.
No, he's not gonna do it. We're gonna bring that to the executive that we want a assessment
of facilities.
all of the facilities in there, and then we're gonna bring it to the general board as a vote. How we go about it, that's the next step, okay? So we're gonna put it on record, this is the information, okay?
Right, right,
All right, guys?
right, yeah.
Okay, I think
Okay.
we're done. No old business?
No, all right, so are those two resolution, old business? Any other old business? I could
Well,
cover,
the guys park and pass, and cut the grass by the, lot.
which one,
Dodgers Park. Remember last time before?
On
we got-
Sullivan?
Yeah, on Sullivan.
And so
You said you mentioned that last
That's
time.
meeting right too. So they actually, I passed back there and they did something.
they did something?
Yeah, they
Well, we
cleaned up
didn't
the place
get-
a little bit.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, so,
We'll
nice
see.
old business.
I'm hoping to get Gloria next week, because
Yeah.
we were supposed to have a reporter from the New York Times who's concerned about the spaces in there. She says she was gonna try to make it today. So, then we'll try to do that. I'll reach out to her because I sent her some of our information and I'll do that.
The lady from Parks coming next meeting. right?
Next week.
Next meeting.
Next month, I should say.
Wait, next month we're having customers
Parker Lies and BBG.
and the BBC.
Something
Yeah.
new with the
And
next meeting.
So,
But just another item there.
yeah, that, is what?
What is the calendar item or no?
Agenda item, you mean?
Like calendar of activities?
It's a work in progress. I'm gonna try to write, and next meeting we'll try to put a calendar up and fit in the date, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, are there any old business?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
That's the old business.
Old business?
All right.
Never gets old to me.
Everybody trying to adjourn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, any objection? So I thank you guys for attending today.
Thank you.
And we did have a quorum. We'll reach out to the people that missed and then, and we move on from there. So we have two options. So get me the minute as soon as you can, so we'll put this solution. One last question. I think I need to have expertise in writing resolution like we did the resolution for Mount Prospect. I need to reach out to Mount Prospect to see if give us an update. Hopefully we'll do that next
Oh,
meeting.
I have a update on them.
Okay.
The update is that they have been contacted by someone, they were unclear on who it was, that there's a possibility that that location can be, I want to say, historically marked.
Oh, it's gonna be on the landmark designation?
The landmark designation, a landmark designation, and they're looking into that further.
Okay. Because I tried to call her.
Is this the stop?
Okay. All right, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
And we call this meeting close at 8:57.